I let my daughter hate me for 9 years. I never once tried to change her mind. I had evidence. I had witnesses. My lawyer told me I had one of the strongest cases he'd seen. Then my ex-wife sat across from me in that conference room and said 9 words. Fight me, and Nora pays for it the rest of her life. Nora was 7. My ex-wife had already started, telling Nora I'd left because I didn't love her, that I'd chosen someone else over them, that she cried for me, and I never came. None of it was true. I'd been fighting for custody for 11 months. She leaned forward. Keep pushing, and I will spend the next decade making sure your daughter grows up knowing exactly what kind of man you are. My version. Every dinner, every bedtime, every single time she asks about you. I looked at her and understood something. She wasn't bluffing. So I did the only calculation that mattered. If I kept fighting and won, Nora would grow up in a home where her mother poisoned every memory of me. She'd arrive at visits already hostile. She'd go home and be punished for loving me. If I lost, same result. Worse conditions. But if I stepped back entirely, Nora would have one stable home, one version of the world, no battlefield to grow up on. She'd think I abandoned her, but she wouldn't be torn in two. I dropped the custody petition the following Monday. My lawyer thought I'd lost my mind. My brother didn't speak to me for nearly 2 years. My own father told me a real man doesn't walk away from his child. I'm not walking away, I told him. I'm standing still so she doesn't get pulled apart. He didn't understand. Most people didn't. For 9 years, I sent birthday cards to whatever address I could find. Most came back unopened. 2 were returned with words written across the envelope in handwriting I recognized. I didn't stop sending them. I wrote her letters I couldn't mail. 1 every week, without missing a single one. I kept them in a plastic bin in my closet. 468 letters she'd never read, addressed to a girl growing up without knowing her father chose her peace over his own. I also set money aside every month, not because I thought she'd come back, because if she ever did, I didn't want to be empty-handed. 9 years. I found out she graduated through a photo a mutual friend sent me without being asked. Nora in a cap and gown, not smiling the way she used to when she was small. I printed it and put it next to the only photo I still had of us. Her at 4 years old, asleep on my chest, my hand covering her entire back. Then one evening in March, my phone rang. Number I didn't recognize. Is this Ward Callum? Yes. Silence. Then, it's Nora. My throat closed. I found the cards. Her voice was flat, controlled. She was holding herself together the way you do when you've been crying for hours before making a call. Mom kept them in a box in the garage. All of them opened. I couldn't speak. She told me you never reached out, that you disappeared, but you sent a card every single year to every address we ever moved to. I did. Why didn't you fight harder? Why didn't you just show up? I told her everything. The conference room, the 9 words, the calculation I made when she was 7 years old, the one I'd lived with every day since. The line went quiet for a long time. She told me you chose to leave. I know. You chose to let me believe that. I chose for you not to grow up in a war. I couldn't promise I'd win. I could only promise I'd stop the fighting. Silence. I have the letters, I said. 468 of them. Every week for 9 years. She made a sound I won't try to describe. We talked for 3 hours that night. I didn't sleep. I sat in my kitchen until sunrise, just to stay inside the same day she'd called. That was 8 months ago. Last week, she drove 4 hours to my house. She brought her boyfriend. She wanted me to meet him. We sat at my kitchen table for 6 hours. She went through the letters one by one. She didn't cry. She just read slowly, carefully, like someone learning a language she'd been told didn't exist. Before she left, she stood at my door. I'm still angry, she said. I need you to know that. I know, but I also know you didn't leave. She looked at me the way she used to when she was small. I don't know what to do with both of those things yet. You don't have to figure it out tonight. She nodded. Then she hugged me. The first time in 9 years. I didn't let go until she did.